Catalyst communication firm. I want to introduce a man who has been helping organizations improve communication, resolve team conflict, and strengthen performance with well over 30 years of experience in the industry. His background includes guiding teams through challenges very similar to what the MGI team is facing right now. He will walk through the purpose of today's presentation and close with our recommended steps. I'm going to turn it over to our fearless leader, Bob, and he will tell you all about the one thing that we are here to do today, convert coordination into cash flow.
Thank you for the introduction, Sean. As I am Bob Drewby, the lead consultant for Catalyst Communication Firm, and today we will present a communication and collaborative strategy designed to help MGI team to work more effectively together. As our team brings expertise in team dynamics, communication systems, cultural development, and implementation planning. We have reviewed the current challenges the team is facing and developed a clear, actionable framework to support stronger collaboration and a successful business plan. Today, we have the entire CFC team ready to speak to you. Next, the purpose of our presentation is straightforward. First, to provide a framework to improve communication within the MGI team. Secondly, to reduce conflict and confusion that has slowed your company's progress. And lastly, to provide a structural impact that enables the team to complete a strong, cohesive business plan. Our goal is to align the MGI team around clear communication practices that match MGI's long-term objectives. Now I'll hand it off to Clay.
Thank you, Bob. As Bob said, I'm Clay, and I'm the Organizational Dynamics Specialist. And through our analysis, we see that your team is having several challenges, and it needs to be brought forth for y'all to know these challenges are not due to a lack of talent, but because of a lack of defined roles and unclear expectations. There are cultural gaps between your team members, and y'all each have different backgrounds and assumptions. And because of these backgrounds and different assumptions, there is uncertainty amongst your team and conflicting goals in the direction that your company needs to be headed. One of the major issues that we have seen is a lack of addressing conflict from the beginning. There has been multiple conflicts between Dana and Sasha from what we have been told, and those conflicts are okay, but they just need to be addressed because conflicts are what prevent a team from moving from ideas to execution. In order to do this, we propose a communication and calibration framework. It consists of 3 pillars. The first pillar is structure. In the structure, you need to ensure everyone has clear roles and clear responsibilities. For a company to succeed, everyone needs to know what they're expected of them. The second pillar is systems. In the systems, you need to implement weekly meetings, you need to implement shared workspaces, and you need to come up with communication norms. The final pillar is cohesion. You need to create a team charter and shared expectations of how this group can work together. Next, David will be speaking to give you more information on the first pillar.
Thank you so much, Clay. As he just mentioned, pillar 1 is making sure that we establish structure. High-performing teams consistently use role clarity. Research has specifically shown teams with clear responsibilities outperform unclear teams by more than 25%. And early-stage groups feel that impact even more. Pillar 1 is structure. The team needs a project lead to anchor accountability and direction. We recommend Henry because he is committed and trusted across both sides of the team. To support this role, we introduce RACI model, defining who is responsible, who's accountable, who should be consulted, and who needs to be informed. This eliminates confusion, overlap, and bottleneck. In the case, no one knew who was responsible for drafting the business plan or coordinating the meetings. That confusion caused missed deadlines and frustration. The RACI model would have prevented these gaps by making ownerships clear. Implementing racing now gives the team the structure it has lacked, reducing conflict and accelerating decisions. Moving on to the second pillar. With structure in place, Pillar 2 focuses on how the team communicates. A Stanford study has shown that teams become significantly more productive when they understand each other's natural communication styles. This is why we added the communication styles chart to the right-hand side here. It makes these differences visible and easy to work with. We also, we also recommend establishing feedback norms using radical candor to ensure direct communication stays respectful and productive. This would have surfaced issues earlier instead of letting frustrations build. This communication system directly addresses the unfocused meetings we saw in the case. Next, Evelyn will walk you through the final pillar.
Thanks so much, David. Again, my name is Evelyn, and I'm the Team Performance and Culture Consultant. And the third pillar that we are suggesting focuses on strengthening cohesion and trust within the team. The team should begin by creating an MGI team charter that outlines shared values, expectations, and working norms. This in itself can be a collaborative exercise and make sure that everyone is on the same page and that everyone is working towards the same goal. Applying the Tuckman model will help the team understand the development stages and make sure that everyone is moving towards high performance. We also recommend brief weekly reflection sessions to review and reinforce continuous improvement. Finally, openly addressing cultural differences will build understanding and trust across the group. In Kim Scott's Radical Candor, she highlights the importance of showing that you care when working with teams that have cultural differences. When communicating, you should be sure to clarify your intention, be transparent, and recognize that directness can be perceived differently across different cultures, so you should adapt your approach. On your team, we do see a wide range of personality styles. Some are blunt and some are more reserved, but following these guidelines can help bring you back in before discussions escalate into tension. I will now hand it back over to Sean, our knowledgeable financial and implementation analyst.
Thank you, Evelyn, for that introduction. Once again, my name is Sean, and now you're being presented with facts and resources and opportunities that we have, along with the ways that we can solve your problems. But you may be thinking, well, how much is this going to cost us? Well, our asking price is $20,000. Now, if you think this is a lot, let's compare it to how much you'll be losing, or let's compare it to the trade-off cost of not hiring us or going with our services. Continued misalignment, leading to missed deadlines, frustration, and an incomplete business plan, possibly losing out on the contest funds for not completing said business plan. And you can even potentially lose out on the contest. I'm sorry, I said that already. You can potentially lose out on no more revenue coming in for the business. Addressing this now is dramatically cheaper than recovering later. Now, with the $20,000, you will not only be receiving our expertise, but you'll also be receiving our collaboration tools that come along with it. You'll also be receiving support throughout the process, of course, but our continued support for a couple months after completion of the project and clear, open lines of communication. The reason we charge a $20,000 fee is because we typically work with just one client at a time. We want to give you, your customer, your team, your company, all of our focus and all of our efforts. That's why we charge $20,000. You'll have our full undivided attention and support. And since you have given us the opportunity to potentially work with you and your team, we'll add an extra 2 months of communication after completion of the project. Right now, you and your team are leaving money on the table, and we want to help you pick it back up. Ladies and gentlemen, for the last time, I will ask that you give your attention to one of the best leaders I've known and had the privilege to work for, Bob, so he can summarize how we plan to help you all unlock and increase your strengths.
In closing, the MGI team has strong individuals as well as an adaptive, innovative concept. What is missing is a communications model that brings all those strengths together. We recommend moving forward with the first phase of the communication and collaborative framework immediately. Catalyst Communication Firm is prepared to support implementation and ensure a smooth adoption across the entire MGI team. When would be a good time for us to get started to achieve all of MGI's goals?